Broadcasting live from the center of the universe. It's Business School Without the BS. Featuring optometrist turned entrepreneur, Dr. Robert Zellner, with USSBA Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark.
It is the Thrivetime show. Let your boo begin. Where we drop knowledge bombs for you in Portland. Teaching the proven systems to make your ends. So you can produce the greenery like all the Oregon. Suit will call you Franklin cause you got Benjamins. We'll call you Ben Pearl cause you just bought a Benz. And then you'll be bragging to your wife and kids that your wallet's overweight but it used to be thin. Thumbs away, this is Clay broadcasting with the Zen, with the focus locked in like San Quentin. Can I get a B to the O to the M? You've heard the rumors, he is I and I is him. He be the Z and I be the C. Now it's teaching business skills from Clay to Z. We both grew up poor, but we're poor no more. The goal of the show is to help you soar. Yes, and yes, Thrive Nation. Welcome back to the Thrivetime show on your radio. And on today's show, we're talking about this thing, Z, that no one wants to talk about.
No one?
No, but well, people just
we're gonna go there.
Clay does, but
people don't want to talk about it. But it is the difference maker. Now, here's what we're not talking about. We're not talking about the phrase "I did my best."
We're not even going to say that phrase.
Because the phrase, which we won't say moving forward, "I did my best," doesn't matter. It's about results. And if you look at anybody who's had success, at the core, at the base, at the foundational level of that success is this concept called a work ethic. Now, we've got 8 segments, and I've got 4 principles. So we've got a lot of room here for a lot of specific stories, a lot of specific examples. So I want to ask the listeners out there rhetorically, how much money do you want to make? How much success do you want to have? How much time freedom do you want to have? What do you want out of life? And then what are you willing to trade off for what you want? So, Z, we have this thing called the F6 life. I used to refer to it improperly as the F5 life. And Z hasn't. So I'm going to go through the F6. So these are the 6 goal areas of life. And I'll go through the first 5, which I feel like I've done a very good job of. Then Z said, what about number 6? So here are the 6 core goal areas of life. 1, you have to have goals for your faith. If you don't have goals for your faith, it's just not going to happen. You're going to drift. You're not going to pursue your religious beliefs. It's not going to happen. 2, family goals. Your family's not going to just drift into a great family. Finances. You're not going to drift into a great place financially. Fitness. People all the time, I love this all the time. People say, gosh, that guy's got great genetics. Yeah, and he works out 7 days a week. I mean, Charles Koloff, 7 days a week he works out. So fitness. Friendship. People say, gosh, I'd love to have great friends like that. Right, and you've got to call them. It's a two-way street. You got to schedule time for it. And this final area is fun. And Dr. Z, you love to have fun and celebrate in the end zone, but not until you score a touchdown.
Right. It's to spike the ball at the 3-yard line. It's not good. You've seen guys do it. You've seen them drop it before they get in the end zone. You're like,
that's called a turnover.
What are you thinking?
So here's what is crazy to me. And when I started researching for today's show, my mind exploded as I got. Paul, I think you'd have fun with this research.
Well, time out.
Yes.
As big as your head is, if your mind exploded, that would be like Hiroshima. I mean, isn't that like nuclear?
I sent gray matter all the way to Okmulgee.
Fission. I think it's fission.
Fission. I mean, that's...
Well, this is what I found, is 70% of employees hate their jobs, according to Forbes. 70% of people hate their jobs.
Do you think that correlates to 67% want, according to Forbes, to have their own business? Start their own business?
Right.
And it's that same 70%.
I think it's the same group.
Okay.
But to start a business, it requires time. So then I thought, well, gosh, where's all the time going? I find out the average American is watching 5.2 hours of TV per day, and they're being interrupted.
Hard to do.
According to Psychology Today, the average American is now being interrupted 85 times a day with interactions unrelated to their work.
Yeah, and you know what's so sad is, 4 or 5 months ago, that was 75 or 76?
It's just growing and growing. And so what I thought I would do is I'm just going to call myself out on the show based upon my religious reviews, my religious views, and ask myself, what does the Judeo-Christian Bible have to say about work ethic? Because maybe I need to look, if I'm a Judeo-Christian, maybe people should look at my life and say, there's good indication that he is based upon his actions, his works. So what I did is I thought, let's have some fun with this phrase called work ethic, and let's break it down into the following 4 letters. Now, Chuck, how do you spell work ethic?
Well, it starts with a W.
What?
W as in what?
Okay.
That's a weird word.
So it starts with W, and then you got an O, an R, and a K.
So let's go into the W first. So, Chuck, can you read me the first principle we're teaching today as it relates to the work ethic?
Yeah, so W, whatever you do, work at it with all of your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters.
Now, Colossians 3:23 states, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters. So I started thinking about, what if I'm not a Christian and I just wanted to screw around with this principle for a year or two and just work as though to quote Lee Cockrell, the guy who managed Disney World, I said, Lee, why are you so motivated? And he said, I'm motivated by insecurity because I know somebody else always wants my job. And then I watched Tom versus Time, and Tom Brady says the same thing. Someone always wants his job. I listened to Bill Belichick. He said somebody always wants that job. It's the NFL, which stands for not for long if you don't win.
Right.
So anybody, whether you're motivated to wow God or driven by insecurities, you've got to work as unto the Lord. So I want to go around the horn and ask you, Z. I'll start with you. Why did you grind for 7 days a week? Because now we know you get to have fun, you get to travel, you get to enjoy time with family. You're now involving your family in the businesses. I mean, now you're getting to see the harvest. But why did you want to till that soil, push that plow? What was going on?
Well, I knew that by doing that, I could be where I am today. I mean, that's the whole kind of play, isn't it? I mean, one of the core lessons I've taught my children.
Oh, come on now.
And they'll tell you this, and that is work first, then play.
Yes, but I just was going on Facebook and I saw this new game called Candy Crush, and it is
And it's so
sexy.
fun.
It
So
is
fun.
not. You just click it.
Well, the thing about it is, you know, it's also you sow first and then you reap. I mean, you have to do the work. You've got to get in there and get the work done. Then you can relax and have fun. So, like, my kids would be wanting to do something. They'd get home from school and say, no, work first. Having your homework? Yes, let's get that done. Then we'll play. You know, and so it's just that day-to-day mindset of what work do I need to get done. Now I can treat myself to maybe a little bit of TV. 5 hours. That's
now,
crazy.
this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this whole comparative thing you shouldn't do, but this is powerful. This is powerful because somebody listening today, you might say, listen, buddy, I don't want to have financial success. That's cool because what you do is you just say, I accept that my life is how it is because of my work or my lack thereof.
Right. I love the challenge of going paycheck to paycheck and the stress because, you know.
It is awesome.
It's awesome.
Now,
you know?
Paul Hood, you're into fitness. So again, Z had you had a white-hot passion to be successful financially, which is why you made the trade-offs. So I wouldn't make any trade-offs at all if I wasn't passionate about the goal. You know, so I want to ask Paul this question, but before I do, I want to make sure that we're giving you some adequate self-deprecation so you can rip on me. The pastor I work with, Pastor Brian, great guy at River City Church, he says, Mr. Clay, I would like, if you guys are interested, would you like to go to Israel this year? We'd like to go to Israel in November. And I said, no, I don't want to go. He says, why? I said, because I don't leave the country. I don't like traveling. I don't like flying. Not curious about history. I don't want to be close to the Palestinians. I have no curiosity at all.
You don't want to go wail on the wall?
Don't have an interest to walk through the Garden of Olives. Don't want to see the birthplace of Jesus. Couldn't care, frankly. I just don't want to go. Now, my wife wants to go. So I thought in my mind, is the trade-off worth it, me in experiencing a personal purgatory while on an international flight for her happiness? I'll probably end up on that plane.
You'll probably end up on that plane.
Because it's the trade-off.
It's the trade-off.
So now let's go to Paul. Paul is looking in great shape. You're working out Paul Hood with Hood CPAs. You're getting in great shape for a fitness competition. But why?
Well, Clay, you know, I think a lot of my success and a lot of my drive began with running from something. You know, both sides of my family, you know, I grew up a single mom, alcoholic father. Most of my family works harder at trying to figure out how to cheat the government and get, you know, they're all, you know, whatever. They're, you know, they're disabled or, you know, good people, but, you know, that they're putting in effort, but I think it's the wrong type of effort. So, I had to prove to myself I wasn't that type of person. And you know, God's blessed me. We do a lot of business. And I just have found that I'm happiest if I'm deliberate, because I like to work out, I like to look good, I like to stay in shape, I like to make a lot of money, I like to help other people make money. But I've got to have that. I preach at our office at hoodcpas.com that you start with the end in mind. And so, if you're just exercising and working out, then what's the end in mind? So I started, my son Bryce and I are doing this physique bodybuilding show. So that was our end. And so we became very deliberate of how we worked out. And it creates a sense of accomplishment to do more, to know I'm doing more, willing to do more than the average person.
Now, when you're done with the show, so you're going to actually get up on stage and flex and do like the Arnold Schwarzenegger poses. Pump you up. I'm going to crush your people. I'm going to crush.
Yes.
You're really going to do all that.
Tons.
Okay, is that kind of a deal?
Yes.
I mean, it's not like a... Is it like did they do an interview process? Do you
No,
do
it's
you
not
do
a
like
Miss America thing.
tuxedo form of it? And then
If you could change one thing about the world,
I want world peace. World peace is yes.
What's my point is, what's your diet and exercise going to look like when the show's over?
Well,
ice cream, chocolate.
Well, it's. I've always heard, and I've always been, worked out and played a little college football, that your diet was 90% of it, and I didn't believe it. So now this is fanatical. I'm not going to continue this diet.
Okay,
but I'll integrate probably 60-70% of it.
That's good.
To learn.
What's the one thing you've been unable to eat over the last 12 weeks? You've been doing it now?
Yeah, 12, 13
Okay,
weeks.
what's the top of the list? If you could just pound something right now and it'd be okay.
That's easy. That is so easy.
What would it be?
So Starbucks has chai tea lattes with soy, and they put 5 pumps of chai in it. Of course, I like to go extra. Have them do 12 pumps.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Arnold pumped.
Yeah, that is not. I thought you could do a 13 pump.
So
you can
good.
pump up your thighs.
Oh my
Yeah, that's
gosh.
a baker's dozen.
Yeah, that first thing. Absolutely, I'm going to find a Starbucks.
I just want to tee up this idea because I see so many people that complain all the time about their current situation, but yet we just think about it. Do you really want to make the change? And if you do it, and if you don't. So this is a thing. I want to make sure you get this. The other day I was talking to a young man in my office, and he says, I want to make more friends. I want to have more friends. I said, how many friends do you want? He says, well, I'd like to have, I don't know, quite a few. And I said, well, I'll tell you this. I've got probably, like people that I could really trust to the core that I've had in my life for a long time. I think if you go to like a dozen, man, that's huge. I mean, that's like profound. I don't know how many people you think are in my life that I can speak to completely transparently without judgment all the time. It's a win-win forever. I mean, it's not, and I'm like, if you get to like a dozen, he's like, oh, really? Because like he thought in his mind that this, having 50 friends, I guess, was the number. And so I want to make sure you're setting realistic goals. Get that goal in your mind and then ask yourself during the break, what is a trade-off that you're willing to make? For instance, if you want to get your accounting in order, you said, my accounting is perpetually behind, my taxes are always screwed up, I'm not saving enough, I'm not getting ahead, just go to hoodcpas.com and schedule a free consultation. You might say, you mean I have to go on the website? I mean, what if that causes carpal tunnel? I mean, I have to go on the website and type with my fingers and hit the button. So you're going to have to go to hoodcpas.com. Yeah, that is a lot of letters to type in. Do you think I have to sacrifice a whole 2 minutes? And we're going to give you a free copy of Warren Buffett's book called Snowball. Yes, but I would have to read all the words in the book. I don't like books with words. So if you don't want to get your finances together, then don't go to hoodcpas.com. But if you want the free book, you want a free hour of power with Paul Hood with hoodcpas.com, go to hoodcpas.com and schedule an appointment. But don't complain that your accounting is all jacked if you're not willing to take the action. When we come back, it's all about work ethic, rising and grinding. Stay tuned.
During today's broadcast, America's #1 business coach, Clay Clark, and the optometrist turned entrepreneur, Dr. Zellner, teach the importance of embracing the rise and grind mentality and the intense work ethic needed to produce success.
Oh, wow. See, with the epic voice intro right there, you almost
Epic
feel
voice.
like, I almost feel like I have to now deliver a quality show.
Don't go that far. Don't get crazy on me all of a sudden. Because we've been doing this for a year and a half.
I almost
Expectations,
feel
Clay,
like on a
expectations.
show about work ethic, I need to do whatever I do and work at it with all my heart as though working for the Lord and not for human masters.
It's not for human. I love that, human masters.
Now, this is a thought. How does this apply if I don't own a business? How does it apply if I do own a business? Well, let me walk you through this. I'd like for Zeta to one-up me on this, okay? A friend of mine, very dear friend of mine, Ryan Tedder, went to work for free for a guy by the name of Timbaland. If you look at the name Timba Lind, Timbaland, he's the one who produces the Justin Timberlake music, the newest album, Man of the Woods. He produces this stuff. So Tedder writes for now Beyonce. He writes for Adele. I mean, huge artists, U2. But what he did is he's just grinding. He's working over there at the Pottery Barn. Imagine what it would be like to work for free for a multi-millionaire, and you know he's not paying you anything. Then, this is a true story, and you can verify this on Billboard magazine, okay? It's called The King of Pop, The Undiscovered King of Pop, and I'll put it on the show notes so everyone can see it inside the studio, and it will be on the show notes so you can see it at home as well. So see, it's coming up on the big screen here. So what happens is Ryan decided, I am not going to quit until I get my big deal. So Timbaland pulls him aside and says, hey, I really have a project I'm working on right now, and I'll pay you $7,500 cash to sing the chorus and to write the song for an artist named Bubba Sparks. Now, I liked Bubba Sparks, so I get a call. Ryan says, I'm going to be singing the chorus of a song called She Tried, my song on Bubba Sparks' Deliverance album. And I didn't talk the numbers of like, hey, how much are you getting paid, bro?
Yeah, bro.
But all I know is he's still working at the Pottery Barn. So it wasn't that much. Now, this song went on to have this was a platinum album, that went on, and he got $7,500. And you could be bitter if you weren't working and doing whatever you do and working at it with all your heart as working for the Lord and not for human masters. Then Ryan wrote a song called Too Late to Apologize. He wrote it himself, all by himself, done. Timbaland says, I'll put that on my new album, Too Late to Apologize. And it's going to say Timbaland featuring Ryan Tedder.
Oh.
It's my song, though, because it's my song. And he's like, so it's the song I wrote is now your song. Right. It's Timbaland, produced by Timbaland song featuring Ryan Tedder. So they're going to think that you're, and he's like, okay. So he just keeps doing this. But imagine now the song Too Late to Apologize is the #1 most played song of all time, ever, of any song on the radio, ever. It's the most. And so he was considered to be featured on for that album. So you're talking about sowing some seeds, working as unto the Lord. Then Leona Lewis, she says, I need a song. He writes a song called Bleeding Love. But now he's credited as being the writer. It's the #1 most played song in European history. We're talking like surpassing Beatles hits. I mean, it's crazy. So now he's getting called by the artists who are saying, hey, please write a song for me. Taylor Swift is calling my man. But I think there's somebody listening here today who's working for your version of Timbaland, and you're having to ask yourself, is it time to quit because I'm working for free and I have a second job, or is it time to press on? Is it time to bore down, or are you working for a jerk that'll never recognize you? Because I do see people who are slaving away for a horrible boss. And I would argue, this is my take on it, having met a lot of business owners, I would argue that probably 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 business owners are garbage. That's my take. So I believe there's somebody out there, you're working your butt off for years for garbage. And so I make it even more personal. A good friend of mine says, I've been working for this guy for 4 or 5 years and I never get promoted. And I said, well, I know the guy, and I want you to know he prides himself on paying you the least amount possible. He's all about that, and you're not going to get promoted because he doesn't want to grow the company. So it was easy for me to give him advice saying, hey, you need to move on. So I want to ask you, Z, if somebody's working for somebody right now, and you've been grinding, dude, for 2 years, 3 years, you've been putting in your work, and you're not seeing any type of fruit, how do you know if it's a you problem, like you're not, giving it your all? Because I think people get stuck working for somebody who's not going to promote them, and then they get disenfranchised. Or the other extreme I see is where the employee's not doing a great job. You're getting there late, and you're not over-delivering, and then you expect a raise based on just having been there for years. So walk me through this concept of over-delivering. When's it time to move on, or when's it time to really press on?
That's an excellent question, by the way. And let's tackle it from the employee side first, okay? Because I feel like there's a lot of people out there listening going, I want to do my own thing. I think I'm on the right track. I've hooked my wagon to this person or this business, and I'm hopeful that it's going to get me to where I want to go, right?
Right.
Okay. That is a good question. How long do you toil on there? In other words, how long would Ryan Tedder have needed to work for Timbaland before he says, yeah, I'm getting nowhere?
And this is my answer that I always give people, and you tell me if you disagree.
Okay.
If the person you're working for is 10x you, then do it. So if the person you're working for knows is 10 times wiser, let's say, or 10 times more successful than you are, then I like that bet. But if you're working for like a slumlord and he's barely making it, and now you see that a lot of time. These entrepreneurs that have kind of these hang-along, tag-along guys.
And I'm interested in that's an easy one. That's who to go to work for.
Right.
And I like that.
Right.
But I'm saying, okay, I'm working for a guy that's 10x. I'm working for a guy that's 20x.
Yeah.
And I'm grinding, and and he just keeps stealing my juice.
Yeah.
And I'm getting. He keeps squeezing, and I get no juice. In other words, he keeps using me
Right.
to promote. Now now I look up and he's 25 times me. I'm like, well, he's growing. I'm helping him grow exponential.
Let me say this.
And I'm down here still in the weeds.
I'm not trying to get you 1,000 potential employees today, but I'm going to try this on the radio here. Here we go.
Oh, no.
If you wanted to come work for Dr. Z at any of your companies, let's say the optometry clinic, and you're not hiring, but I said, hi, I'd like to intern and basically work for free for 40 hours a week. When I'm not there, I'll work at the Pottery Barn. Would you say yes to that person?
Well, of course. You'd be a fool not to. I mean,
And how long would I have to be at work first before I'd catch the attention of someone like Paul Hood or someone like yourself? I mean, how long?
Well, and there lies the rub. It depends on how good of an employee you are. See, a lot of people might show up and say, hey, I'm going to do this. And then
If I'm the first one to work and the last one to leave on the days that I work for free.
recognized very quickly.
Okay.
You get promoted, you get hired, start moving up the ladder. I mean, if you do a good job, if you knock off the 5 A's, I mean, if you are there charging and making yourself known, it's kind of like, wow, this person's going above and beyond. They're showing up on time. They've got a great attitude. They got a great appearance, and they're accurate. I mean, those are the 5 A's, right?
Well, Eric Chupp has ran his own business. That's essentially how he started here at Thrive. He basically did all the jobs no one else wanted to do and worked his way up. But I want to get your take on this, Paul. How long would someone have to work for you, being the first one to work and the last one out, before you would recognize them? Because you have a lot of employees now. How long would it take before you would hear rumors of their work ethic?
Well, it wouldn't take very long at all.
Okay.
I think one of the things from the employer or the employer standpoint is, if I'm that employee and I'm grinding, I'm really putting in, and I'm not seeing any returns.
Right.
You can tell real quick whether somebody, because really a successful person, Clay, and we teach people this at Hood CPAs, and you do at your workshops, is I am hiring right now. I don't need any employees, but I'm hiring right now because I'm always looking for that next A player, because my job is to take that A player and build a business around them. And so if you're working for somebody that looks at you that way and creates opportunities, then stay. But there are those people out there that just going to get everything they can out of you.
Matt Klein with OxyFresh is going to be joining us today. And before we introduce today's guest here, Matt Klein, the brand developer at OxyFresh, I want to tell people a little story, Jordan. Are you ready for the story?
I love stories. Let's do it.
Okay, so I grew up poor. I remember where I was. I was at my parents' house. I remember who I was. It was me. I was 15 years old. I remember thinking, man, we do not have any money. And I remember thinking, man, everybody in my house loves the yellow color scheme because we got yellow cereal boxes and yellow, soup cans and yellow. Everything's yellow. A lot of yellow themed things. And I thought to myself, maybe my parents also love the Great Value brand, because apparently we buy every Great Value brand product they have. Maybe that's the thing. And I remember thinking, man, my dad is working the night shift at his job. He's doing what he can do to provide for us. Great job, Dad. I'm also thinking, I wonder if I could do it a little differently. I wonder if I could become self-employed. I wonder. So you know what I decided? I decided I'm going to become self-employed. True story. So my mom, dad, they come downstairs. It had been a while. When your parents and your kids have a room in the basement, maybe you don't go down in the room every day. Maybe you go once a week. Maybe you go every day. I don't know. And they see me writing on the walls in my room. They go, what are you doing here? And I go, writing down my goals, things I'm going to do, and I'm going to start this T-shirt company. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell T-shirts at the high school, because the kids at high school, we all go to school, and we like to cheer for the basketball team and the football team. And the school apparel that they sell us is whack. My parents are like, whack? What's that? I go, it's terrible. People don't want to wear it. It's not controversial. It's whack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell T-shirts to high school students, and I'm going to make bank. My parents say, what's that? Money. So I'm going to sell shirts that aren't whack in exchange for bank. That's what I'm going to do. And my parents, other people began saying, well, do you have a T-shirt printing company? No. Do you have a T-shirt? Have you done this before? No. Do you have experience in this? No. Do you have the machine needed to make T-shirts? No. Have you ever done this? No. Do you know how to design the shirts? No. Do you know how to sell them? No. What are you going to price them at? No. Do you have any shirts that we can sell? No. God is my witness. Months later, it's like a sweatshop down there. I'm pressing T-shirts left and right. I'm printing T-shirts. We're selling hundreds of shirts. We're staying up late night every night selling shirts because I figured out there was a problem. And the problem was the students didn't want to buy shirts that were what, Jordan? Whack. Right. And I knew that if I could sell them a shirt they would actually like, then I could make money. So I made designs. I went to school. I said, hey, this shirt right here, I had a drawing of it, like a mock-up Photoshop. This right here, you want to wear a hoodie like this or a hoodie like that? Of course you want to wear a hoodie like this. And over time, I started selling lots of shirts. Then I started a DJ entertainment company, same process. And every single time I've ever started any business ever, every time, there's always been a partner or somebody who has been what I call the doubter. And the doubter is often a shouter. And what they like to do is they like to, instead of putting in the work, they like to complain a little bit louder. Sometimes aggressively, sometimes passively aggressively. They begin to say, I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know. What's my ROI going to be? If I put in money into your business, how do I, and we're high school students. And I'm not asking you to put money into my business. I'm saying, if you want to be because people would come up to me and they would say, wow, Clay, you're selling a lot of shirts. We should team up. I remember this. And every one of those high school buddies, they would say, well, how come I'm not getting paid? I'm like, well, we only make profit. We only get paid off the profits. And so we need to buy more shirts, more T-shirt presses, and we won't make any profit until we start selling this many shirts a month. And it would seem like they got excited about the idea, but then once the work began, that's when they lost the excitement about it. And I find that to become a successful entrepreneur, you have to have the mindset that you're not going to stop until you're successful. Not if you're successful, but until you're successful. So if you go to oxyfresh.com today and you buy a franchise, you're buying a business with, and Matt will correct me in a minute, over a 10-year history, over a 14-year history of success. There's 500 locations. But I guarantee you with OxyFresh, there have been a few people over the years that have bought an OxyFresh franchise and then didn't follow the system. I bet you that's happened. I bet you there's a Pizza Hut franchise owner out there that didn't follow the system. And I bet you're somebody out there listening right now and you're not following your own system for your own business. So what I want to hammer home today is the mindset of don't start something unless you're willing to not stop until you get there. Matt Klein, welcome to the Thrivetime Show. How are you, sir?
I'm great. Happy to be here.
Matt, can you talk about this idea? I mean, if somebody buys an OxyFresh franchise, I mean, you got references for days. You've got almost, a 15-year history of success, 500 locations. But people have to put in the work, right?
Yeah, I mean, I have a saying here, nothing we're doing here is hard, but it takes hard work to be successful. You know, it's like, you know, you can give people as many resources as possible, more than their competition could ever imagine. And the guy that works harder than the guy that's not using his resources will always win the game, right? Competitiveness, focus, like actual will and want to be successful, those outweigh any amount of resources, any amount of advantages that a company has are all washed out if you're not willing to try harder than the next person. It's like, just because you have more resource than the next person doesn't mean you get to use it as a crutch.
It's interesting how that works. Now, I want to be very clear on this idea. This idea here, again, success is a lot of times not very complicated at all. It just requires hard work. And so, Matt, let's go back to an OxyFresh. If I go to oxyfresh.com and I do buy an OxyFresh franchise, let's talk about some of the key performance indicators you have to do every day to grow a successful OxyFresh. So I'm going to fire off the thing, and then you tell me why I can't stop doing it, okay? Cool. So, one, if I buy an OxyFresh franchise, I have to get objective Google reviews from happy customers every time I clean their carpet while I'm in the home. I can't passively aggressively email them or text them a week after the job. I have to ask for objective reviews from happy customers after I deliver a great service. Why do I have to do that? And why can't I stop doing that?
Because if you stop doing that, your competition is going to catch up to you and you're eventually going to slide off the page where you're being seen. So if it's not part of your process to consistently get reviews, you're missing out one of the most important things of how you're going to be seen by your customers, right? If your customers can't see you, there's no way you're going to be able to grow. And so to get there, you got to get the reviews, and to stay there, you got to maintain the reviews. It is the most vital piece of anything for a small, certainly service-based company.
So again, though, somebody might say, and this is what, and I'm sure you've never seen this, Matt, but someone might say, I feel like there's a new system. I feel like instead of focusing on Google reviews, which by the way, 90% of people use Google, I kind of want to focus more on, I want to ask you, Matt, just, is there like a better billboard strategy maybe I could try? And they try to avoid doing what works to focus on the new idea. Jordan, have you ever seen this kind of thing?
Yeah.
You coach with clients. You've ever seen this kind of thing?
Yeah. They want to focus on things that have not been what they want to do, what they think might work, not what does work.
Matt, I'm sure you've never seen this at OxyFresh, but please explain to me why it is when somebody has a simple task, not an OxyFresh owner, other people, but they know they need to get those reviews from objective reviews from actual customers that are happy. Why do they maybe sometimes not want to do the thing and then move on to a new thing?
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons for that. Like one thing that I see a lot is like they might go out and they tried to get 2 reviews out of 3 people. And let's say the first 2 they got didn't stick on their Google page for whatever reason. Maybe it was lack of execution, or maybe Google didn't put those reviews on there right away because they're waiting and they go, well, this doesn't work. Or I'm not going to waste my time and energy doing that. It's too hard to get reviews. That one kills me. It's too hard to get reviews. It's like, well, look at all your competitors. They have reviews, right? It's like you're unwilling to put the work in. So one is just they're trying to get somewhere faster than what the process will allow them, and they're not patient enough to realize that the process is the only way they're going to be successful. Two is that I have this all the time, right? People in my area don't have carpet. There's no good employees in my area. Nobody in my area gives reviews. It's like this has happened. It's happened for 10 years. It's never going to stop happening. And that all that is someone's inability to listen to a word I've said the entire process to get them up to the point of buying franchise, right? We have time and time again shown that this process works. And so just like you said, Clay, if you are unwilling to follow the system from franchisees that have already been successful, you should not buy a franchise, right? That it would be not smart. So there's all sorts of reasons that people can say not to do it, but I can tell you the ones that do are exponentially more successful and faster than those that refuse to do it. It's plain and simple.
Now I'm going to shift gears for a second. I'm going to focus on pool parties, Matt, pool parties. Okay. My incredible son, he's 16 years old, and we've all been 16 years old. And my son was 16, and he says to me, he says, Dad,
Not yet.
I want to have a pool party, and I want my pool party to be a glorious, sanctimonious, life-changing, mind-altering event that the world will forever recognize as the pool party that was. In 16-year-old language, he said, Dad, I want to have a great party. I said, okay, I got it. But I mean, that's what I heard, right? No, I'm serious though. So Matt, this is what I did. As I said, well, first off, let's make a flyer. Here's the flyer we made. Let's make a flyer. Okay. And we need to make a flyer. This is DJ Aubrey presents this epic pool party. Okay. We got to do that. We're not going to get the school's permission. We're going to weave in the logo a little bit, kind of give a colloquial feel to it. That's what we're going to do. Okay. Then I'm going to make a video that's going to promote the party. Okay. I'm going to make a video that promotes the party because we got to promote the pool party via, you got to get it out there multiple times. And at this point, I'm starting to have a little bit of pushback from humanity. Okay. Not from thankfully, other people were pushing back, not my son or anybody I know. But let me just say, I made this marketing video for the party. Here we go. DJ Aubrey presents an epic pool party for the entire Metro class of 2026. When? Let me pull this up so Matt can hear the audio here. Let me pull this up here. So, you make this video and you have this marketing video. Now, the problem is in our culture today, most people are not going to answer their phone if they don't know the number.
Nope.
Most people have a full inbox in their email. So this is the video we made, Matt. Here we go. DJ Aubrey presents an epic pool party for the entire Metro class of 2026. When? It's Friday, April 28th, 2023, from 6:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. That's Friday, April 28th, 2023, from 6:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Clark's Heated Pool at 3920 West 91st Street South in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yes, it's going to be in a heated pool, ladies and gentlemen, and the entire Metro class of 2026 is invited. Now, what's happening? We're having a cannonball contest, live DJ entertainment, prizes and giveaways, and enough food to allow you to gain significant amounts of body weight just in time for the summer. That's Friday, April 28th, 2023, from 6:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. at 3920 West 91st Street South, Tulsa, Oklahoma, 74132.
No roughhousing in the spa. Settle down, please. Attention, swimmer. You are too far. Return immediately.
Now, Matt, it's a party, so I had to make sure we texted every kid just text every kid, call every kid, and email every kid. Now, you know what? On Friday, every single kid he wanted to be there was there. It was packed. But Matt, we had to text, we had to call, we had to email. It was scorched earth, baby. And most people want to, by default, they don't want to call their leads that much. Now, if you buy an OxyFresh franchise, I mean, the call center at OxyFresh is like a SWAT team of people committed to turning leads into actual appointments. I mean, you guys schedule, if somebody goes to oxyfresh.com and you fill out the form, your call center will call those leads until they cry, buy, or die. I mean, they're going to, because if somebody reached out and said, hey, I want you to hire you guys to clean the carpet, you'll keep calling them until you book an appointment. But the average small business owner will call the lead one time. I would like to ask you, Matt, what would happen to OxyFresh if the call center wasn't tightly managed and you guys didn't have a system in place and the phones just kind of rang to a place and the local guy could call the leads back whenever they felt like it?
Yeah, you'd find that it'd be really hard to maintain consistent growth, and you would really question your marketing efforts because the customers are coming, but they're not getting what they need, which is on the schedule. I mean, it'd be really hard to manage that in a scenario where you'd feel comfortable at scale.
And again, these are things, they're not like super complicated things, but they have to be done because, again, success is not difficult. It just requires hard work. Now, call recording. Now, Jordan, you see this every single coaching client I work with, every one of them. I say you need to install
Call recording.
Why?
To know the quality of the calls. If they're not following the script, then you won't know that unless you record the calls.
Now, at OxyFresh, the calls are recorded. Matt, what would happen if the calls were not recorded? I mean, you guys record the calls so that the local franchise owner knows what the quality you're providing. You do that for training purposes. What if you just took out that little feature and let the callers just kind of say whatever they felt like?
Well, your consistency would go down pretty quickly. Your professionalism would go down. Your ability to actually keep people accountable for mistakes and for good behavior would go out the window. It would essentially be just come as you will. It'd be really hard. I mean, you would not be able to promise franchisees any amount of anything, right? I mean, you could have a person over there's not answering at all. You got this person answering at a high level. You wouldn't know who's doing good, who's not good. It's an unmanageable situation because you don't have anything to look at.
Now, I'm going to hammer home just these 4 aspects of owning an OxyFresh today. There's other details, but I want to focus on these 4. If you buy an OxyFresh, you have to get objective reviews from happy customers. You have to do it. If you're not willing to do it, don't buy an OxyFresh. But if you are willing to do it, that's a big thing. It helps you rank in Google. It also proves that when you advertise, it shows to potential buyers that you're the real deal. There's potential employees read the reviews. I can go on and on. Okay. Second is you can't ever stop interviewing people. Matt, you can't ever stop recruiting carpet technicians. You can't just say, man, I've got a crack squad of 3 great carpet technicians, therefore I no longer need to be recruiting. What would happen, Matt, if you stopped recruiting people at OxyFresh once you have a team of 2 or 3 carpet techs and you say, you know what? I'm good. I'm not going to interview anybody else now. I'm not looking for other new candidates. My team's going to be with me for a decade.
Yeah. I mean, then you would be behind the ball when you actually do need to hire someone. It'd take you longer. The void would cost you money. You essentially, maybe you only have 1 candidate in that scenario where it wants to hire. And maybe if that doesn't work out now, what you thought would take 2 weeks takes, 6 weeks. And so, it just puts you in a situation where you have to act super reactively to the problem instead of just being able to say, okay, I got someone in line. They were a good fit. Let's call them up and see if we can get them in there. So it just puts you in a place as an owner that you have a solution already built into a problem that might happen.
And Matt, I mean, I'm not saying that your employees have ever done this. And Jordan, you managed the Elephant in the Room store, so I'm sure you've never seen this. But a lot of times, Matt, we have our staff meeting on Mondays, all staff meeting.
I love the story.
And we do wins of the week. So there's like 100 people. If you can picture, there's 100 people at this staff meeting. This is where you can share what is a good thing that's happened in your personal life or business life. Wins of the week. And I said, guys, what wins of the week do we have? And the young lady goes, this is my last day. This person was with us for years.
She goes, I have a win. Well, it's kind of sad. It's a win for my family. I'm losing my work family though. So,
and I'm going, no. That's not a win for that's not so much a win for me right now.
And he goes, how many minutes do you have left?
I did say that.
Yeah, it was great
because it was so. But again,
yeah.
And I was then I talked to other people on the staff. I said, guys, did you guys know she was leaving? And most of the staff that were at that same level on the org chart, they were like, oh yeah, we knew. She had told us about 6 months ago. She was just lining it out. And so, but again, thankfully we have so many great stylists always applying. I was able to treat her well on the way out. We found a replacement right away. No stress. But again, if you own an OxyFresh and you don't get Google reviews, you don't do the interviews. And Matt, we call the system the Dream 100, but where you reach out to potential businesses to earn their business. And there's a lot of detail that goes into that. But with OxyFresh, I mean, you can never stop reaching out to your ideal and likely commercial clients. I mean, if you don't reach out to them, it's probably a statistically high probability you won't get the business. Matt, why is it important that if you own an OxyFresh, you keep reaching out to those ideal commercial accounts and you're very consistent with that effort?
Yeah, because if you don't, you have no chance at getting it ever, right? And if you have a Rolodex, let's say there's, the next 3 years, you want to close 50 really good, large commercial contracts. They're not all going to come at one time. Some are going to be, stuck to an agreement. Some of them need you to be there when the other company falls down and you can basically fill in. I mean, if you're not present in the minds of those companies, you have no shot. And those also give you much higher return on investment. They're also easier on your staff, right? Everything's easier when you can pepper those into your schedule. So if you're not consistently trying to grow your business, it's like, you can do a $6,000 church in a weekend where that might take you a full week with residential customers. Like if you value, your income, I would suggest you at least put some effort in there and stay consistent. Because most people aren't just, walk in the building and say, hey, I'm OxyFresh. I'd love to be your service provider. There's almost a 0% chance at any time they're going to do it the first time. They might say, okay, well, I got some things you can look at. But I mean, you got to put consistent effort in. It's like someone coming to your front door. It's like, how many times are you going to say yes? Probably not very many the first time. But if they keep coming, right, you're going to have a much, much higher close percentage.
Now, Matt, I want to share one more thing here. There's a big thing about business people I find a lot of times. They get excited about the new thing, and they show up with the new thing. They're excited about the new thing. They put the energy because it's new. It's exciting. But then when it comes to like actually playing the game on a consistent level, that's when they kind of maybe veer off a little bit here. So I want to pull up this clip here for you so you can see this. This is from an inspirational movie, Matt, called The Cable Guy, which I'm sure you've never seen this. Okay, so let me pull it up here. So this is a scene here. And this is the scene that I see a lot of entrepreneurs kind of living out time and time again. Here we go.
Hey, you guys play here too?
Weird.
This is the new guy. He's excited about the business. He's excited about the new opportunity. He's fired up. He's showing up.
Out and about. Thought I'd see if anybody wanted to play some round balls.
Great. We need another man. This is Chip Douglas, my cable guy. We met about a week ago in a routine installation. I feel like I've known him my whole life. Really? That's sweet. Okay, Chip Douglas, you're on my team. Let's play.
No way. I'm on Steven's team.
I'll switch teams. Let's just play.
Hold on, I gotta warm up. I don't want to pull a hammy.
We've all seen this kind of thing where we're like, this guy's the new guy. He's wanting to show off and come in there 90 miles an hour. And quickly you're like, how long is this going to last? You've got to have the mindset that you're going to commit to the plan and work the plan until success, not if you're successful. So Matt, final thought I want to get from you. If someone goes into oxyfresh.com and they buy an OxyFresh franchise, why do they have to have the mindset that, hey, I'm going to run this business until it's successful, not if it's successful?
Yeah, because as a small business owner, you will not find success without going through a bunch of problems and hurdles and, personnel problems and in our equipment problems and vehicle problems and bad customers. I mean, there are way more problems that come up in a small business, and none of them are bad individually. But some people are willing to quit if they have a problem. They're not willing to kind of be the positive light in their own company. They hold all of the negative energy as things kind of roll downhill, and it rolls their employees as well. It's like, if you're going to go into a business, you have to know that there's going to be days that are going to be hard. You have to know that there's going to be customers that are going to be hard. You have to know that like some marketing programs will take some time to really see success. And so if you're not willing to really get through those problems with a smile and understand that it's for a much larger purpose that's coming, then business is going to be really hard. I mean, you'll have more negative things than wins, right? But the negative things add up to those wins. And like, you got to celebrate your wins, and you got to address problems with a positive attitude. Like, you have to, as the owner, be the solution to problems. You can't stack on the problems. And I see that with a lot of owners. It's like, well, I lost an employee. It's like, well, first of all, you're not a very nice person. I wouldn't work for you. But second of all, like, go find another employee. Like, there's never been a successful company in the world that didn't lose an employee. Like, you're not that special, And so I just think there's so many people that have an illusion of small business. And that small business is hard work, but it's extremely fun when it works.
Yep.
But you have to, it's both. If everything was successful and everyone would be great at it.
Got to do it. If I can just add in, it's like somebody saying, "Hey, I want to go to vacation in Miami, Florida. I heard it's really nice. I just don't want to make the trip there." You're never going to hit the destination. You're not going to hit the goal. You're not going to get to where you want to be if you don't actually start the journey. And the journey's got ups and downs, just like everything else. It's how everyone knows how it is. But if you don't do it, you're never going to make it there.
It's a perpetual grind that if you don't have that mindset going into it, I would encourage you not to go to oxyfresh.com. But if you're looking for a business model that's been refined, where all you now have to do is grind. What am I saying? If you're looking for a business model that's already been refined, so all you have to do is grind, I would encourage you to go to oxyfresh.com, oxifresh.com, click on the franchising button right here and schedule a consultation with Matt Klein and the team here. And they can schedule this consultation so that you can decide whether it's a good fit for you and your family. Matt, what's the best way to schedule that consultation right here, sir?
If you just click on there and fill out your information, we'll get it all. And you're going to get a text message, an email, and a phone call, whichever one's best for you to communicate with us. We'll set up an introductory call where myself or one of my team members here will just call you, and they want to learn about you. What are you currently doing? What are some of your goals?
Yep.
Right. What's your time frame? What's your time commitments right now? And really kind of understand what you're trying to do. And then we'll explain OxyFresh. We'll go through some questions and answers. And if there's some synergy there and we feel like there's a good fit, we'll take it to a next more in-depth conversation via screen share, go through territory, document sharing. We'll take it through the whole thing. And the nice thing about this is it costs nothing. It's free. Like, even if you don't choose OxyFresh, like, I've had so many people that have called me that did not go with OxyFresh, said, you know what, you just opened my eyes to business ownership. I didn't even know it was a real thing. And that usually happens if we don't have territory. They've got the bug and they want to do something. They just need to know that there's options out there. And a lot of people just don't know that, even if you have a full-time job. Right. It's being able to leverage your time and create more income streams. As long as you have proof of concept, now everything's really simple. But you got to get to that point. You can't get to that point without at least having a conversation with someone that knows about that.
Well, Matt Klein, thank you so much for carving out time for us today, sir. And again, folks, if you want to schedule a consultation with Matt Klein and the OxyFresh team to learn about opening up an OxyFresh franchise, go to oxyfresh.com. That's oxifresh.com. Matt Klein, you look like you're smelling terrific, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
See you. Bye.
The number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year. We are Jared and Jennifer Johnson. We own Platinum Pest and Lawn and are located in Owasso, Oklahoma. And we have been working with Thrive for business coaching for almost a year now.
Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to share some wins with you guys that we've had by working with Thrive. First of all, we're on the top page of Google now. Okay. I just want to let you know what type of accomplishment this is. Our competition, Orkin, Terminex, They're both $1.3 billion companies. They both have 2,000 to 3,000 pages of content attached to their website. So to basically go from virtually non-existent on Google to up on the top page is really saying something. But that's come by being diligent to the systems that Thrive has, by being consistent and diligent on doing podcasts and staying on top of those podcasts to really help with getting up on with their listing and ranking there with Google.
And also we've been trying to get Google reviews, asking our customers for reviews. And now we're the highest rated and most reviewed pest and lawn company in the Tulsa area. And that's really helped with our conversion rate. And the number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year.
Wait, say that again. How much are we up?
411%.
Okay, so 411% we're up with our new customers. Amazing.
Right. So not only do we have more customers calling in, we're able to close those deals at a much higher rate than we were before. Right now, our closing rate is about 85%, and that's largely due to, first of all, like our Google reviews that we've gotten people really see that our customers are happy, but also we have a script that we follow. And so when customers call in, they get all the information that they need. That script has been refined time and time again. It wasn't a one and done deal. It was a system that we followed with Thrive in the refining process, and that has obviously the 411% shows that system works.
Yeah. So here's a big one for you. So last week alone, our booking percentage was 91%. We actually booked more deals, more new customers last year than we did the first 5 months. Or I'm sorry, we booked more deals last week than we did the first 5 months of last year from before we worked with Thrive. So again, we booked more deals last week than the first 5 months of last year. And it's incredible. But the reason why we have that success is by implementing the systems that Thrive has taught us and helped us out with. So.
Some of those systems that we've implemented are group interviews. That way we've really been able to come up with a really great team. We've created and implemented checklists. That way everything gets done and it gets done right. It creates accountability. We're able to make sure that everything gets done properly, both out in the field and also in our office. And also doing the podcast, like Jared had mentioned, that has really, really contributed to our success. But that, like I said, the diligence and consistency in doing those and that system has really, really been a big blessing in our lives. And also, it's really shown that we've gotten the success from following those systems.
Yeah. So before working with Thrive, we were basically stuck. Really no new growth with our business. And we were in a rut and we didn't know.
The last 3 years, our customer base had pretty much stayed the same. We weren't shrinking, but we weren't really growing either.
Yeah, and so we didn't really know where to go, what to do, how to get out of this rut that we're in. But Thrive helped us with that. They implemented those systems. They taught us those systems. They taught us the knowledge that we needed in order to succeed. Now it's been a grind. Absolutely, it's been a grind this last year. But we're getting those fruits from that hard work and the diligent effort that we're able to put into it. So again, we were in a rut. Thrive helped us get out of that rut. And if you're thinking about working with Thrive, quit thinking about it and just do it. Do the action, and you'll get the results. It will take hard work and discipline, but that's what it's going to take in order to really succeed. So we just want to give a big shout out to Thrive, a big thank you out there to Thrive. We wouldn't be where we're at now without their help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Moore. I'm a pediatric dentist. Through our new digital marketing plan, we have seen a marked increase in the number of new patients that we're seeing every month, year over year. 1 month, for example, we went from 110 new patients the previous year to over 180 new patients in the same month. And overall, our average is running about 40 to 42% increase month over month, year over year. The group of people required to implement our new digital marketing plan is immense, starting with a business coach, videographers, photographers, web designers. Back when I graduated dental school in 1985, nobody advertised. The only marketing that was ethically allowed in everybody's eyes was mouth-to-mouth marketing. By choosing to use the services, you're choosing to use a proven turnkey marketing and coaching system that will grow your practice and get you the results that you're looking for. I went to the University of Oklahoma College of Dentistry, graduated in 1983, and then I did my pediatric dental residency at Baylor College of Dentistry from 1983 to 1985.
Hello, my name is Charles Colaw with Colaw Fitness. Today I want to tell you a little bit about Clay Clark and how I know Clay Clark. Clay Clark has been my business coach since 2017. He's helped us grow from 2 locations to now 6 locations. We're planning to do 7 locations in 7 years and then franchise. And Clay has done a great job of helping us navigate anything that has to do with like running the business, building the systems, the checklists, the workflows, the audits, how to navigate lease agreements, how to buy property, how to work with brokers and builders. This guy is just amazing. He's this kind of guy has worked in every single industry. He's written books with like Lee Crockrell, head of Disney, with the 40,000 cast members. He's friends with like Mike Lindell. He does Reawaken America tours, where he does these tours all across the country where 10,000 or more people show up to some of these tours. On the day-to-day, he does anywhere from about 160 companies. He's at the top. He has a team of business coaches, videographers, and graphic designers and web developers, and they run 160 companies every single week. So think of this guy with a team of business coaches running 160 companies. So in the weekly, he's running 160 companies. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's doing Reawaken America tours. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's also doing business conferences where 200 people show up, and he teaches people a 13-step proven system that he's done and worked with billionaires, helping them grow their companies. So I've seen guys from startups go from startup to being multimillionaires, teaching people how to get time freedom and financial freedom through the system. Critical thinking, document creation, putting it into organizing everything in their head to building into a franchisable, scalable business. Like one of his businesses has like 500 franchises. That's just one of the companies or brands that he works with. So amazing guy. Elon Musk kind of like smart guy. He kind of comes off sometimes as socially awkward, but he's so brilliant, and he's taught me so much. When I say that, like Clay is like, he doesn't care what people think when you're talking to him. He cares about where you're going in your life and where he can get you to go. And that's what I like most about him. He's like a good coach. A coach isn't just making you feel good all the time. A coach is actually helping you get to the best you. And Clay has been an amazing business coach. Through the course of that, we became friends. I was really most impressed with him is when I was shadowing him one time. We went into a business deal and listened to it. I got to shadow and listen to it. And when we walked out, I knew that he could make millions on the deal. And they were super excited about working with him. And he told me, he's like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to turn it down, because he knew it was going to harm the common good of people in the long run. And the guy's integrity just really wowed me. It brought tears to my eyes to see that this guy, his highest desire was to do what's right. And anyways, just an amazing man. So anyways, impacted me a lot. He's helped navigate anytime I've got nervous or worried about how to run the company, or navigating competition and an economy that's like, I remember we got closed down for 3 months. He helped us navigate on how to stay open, how to get back open, how to just survive through all the COVID shutdowns, lockdowns, because our clubs were all closed for.
I'm Rachel with Tip Top Canine, and we just want to give a huge thank you to Clay and Vanessa Clark.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Tip Top Canine. Just want to say a big thank you to Thrive 15. Thank you to Make Your Life Epic. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and really just appreciate how far you've taken us.
This is our old house, right? This is where we used to live a few years ago. This is our old neighborhood. See? It's nice, right?
So this is my old van and our old school marketing, and this is our old team. And by team, I mean it's me and another guy.
This is our new house with our new neighborhood.
This is our new van with our new marketing, and this is our new team. We went from 4 to 14, and I took this beautiful photo. We worked with several different business coaches in the past, and they were all about helping Ryan sell better and just teaching sales, which is awesome, but Ryan is a really great salesman. So we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. we're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that you guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
The Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the highest and most reviewed business workshops on the planet. You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.